Alright, PA Figs here. Day 83, and lockdown is over! Finally over! And you know what that means? That means it's haircut time. Finally got my haircut. And I had to do it in New York. Pennsylvania is still under lockdown, or I don't know what they're calling it now. Lockdown's been lifted, but salons and barbers are not allowed to open. Ironically, in New York, where everything was 10 times worse, barbers and salons are now open. So I was able to go get a quick haircut. So I might look a little different. I was really getting tired of the long hair, so I'm happy. But yeah, lockdown's over, which for Pennsylvania, here in Berks County, we went to dinner for our first time in nearly 3 months last night, and it was pretty close to normal. Drinks were served in a plastic cup, but for most part, it was a night out, and we greatly enjoyed ourselves. So, enough of that. Let me show you some of the figs. All right, so you can see Teresa is busy weeding the garden, and here is a Martinenko Ramada. I did notice there were definitely some very decently sized figs here that have popped out. We've been spending some time in New York just to get away from things here for a little bit. But we are back, and lots of growth on the Koledam Ramada, which is great to see. Thank you again, Amy, for this. It's looking great. This is another one I'm looking forward to this year, and it is my Galicia Negra. Not seeing any figs form on this yet. I'm not going to go through all the trees. I did notice some, though, that had some figs growing, so let's go take a look. Hopefully everybody is having a great summer. We have had a lot of warmth, and it's really helped these trees to catch up a little bit, with the exception of the trees that got hit with that freeze, and I'll show you those in a second. Black Madeira, no figs on it yet. That's surprising. Got some growth growing. This is the white Madeira I had in the greenhouse, and you can see it's got Breba's main crop. And I think I'm going to be able to do a Breba video later this week, because this guy is swelling, so hopefully it will ripen in the next day or two. But yeah, a lot of growth, not a lot of fruit form yet, so I'm going to have to start pinching here. And I'm trying to remember what I had in the greenhouse and what I didn't. I believe I had this guy in the greenhouse. Not seeing any figs yet, though. Very surprising. Oh, maybe I didn't have that one. Maybe I had this one in. There's some figs growing on this guy that you can see. So, quite a few main crop figs growing. This is my Koledam Grise. That's great to see. This Black Madeira I had in the greenhouse, and you can see figs are doing really well on that. And that's great to see. Alright, so let's go take a look at some of the figs that got hit by the freeze. You can see this is my Improved Celeste, and it is not faring well. It is starting to leaf out. There's some growth on it, but I mean, it died way back on a lot of these branches. So I guess I really need to be more careful. Normally when a frost hits, they'll die back a little bit, but not that much. And then I believe this was my Black Madeira UFC. Every year, surprisingly, it looks a little bit better and a little bit better, but definitely never as good as my Black Madeira KK. Alright, so here's some more trees. Preto, just starting to come back. Zero chance for fruit this year. Green Ashia, just starting to come back. Zero chance for fruit this year. And you can see as I go down the line, all of these, there's a tree that got freeze damage. There's a tree that did not get freeze damage, nor an early start. So they were taken out at the same time, just one was shuffled and one was not. And I'm not even bothered going down the line, but you can see some of them down there. They are not loving life right now. Some of them are even coming back from the bottom. Let me go actually show you this one. This Preto, I think it died all the way back to the ground. There's a little bit of growth coming from this one branch, but the rest of it, it's just toast. And that was all alive back before that freeze happened. So, lesson learned. Need to be much more careful with the freeze. There's one other thing I want to show you guys up front. Okay, here is my graveyard shift, as I call it, along with a couple mulberries in the back that I never get fruit out of because they always bear fruit in the early spring. Although I just saw something. If you look really closely, it's forming another set of mulberries. I will actually maybe get mulberries off this one this year. That'll be excellent. Okay, but anyway, sorry, back to the graveyard shift. So these trees were the ones that I wanted to keep, but I thought had died back to the ground, and I wanted to see if they would come back. So this is the I-258, and you can see it is coming back up from the roots, as well as this one limb and this limb over here. So, moral of the story here, if you've got a tree that dies back, don't think it's necessarily dead. It will come back from the roots more often than not, surprisingly so. Over here is my Genovese Nero. And you can see, if I can get through, I gotta cut this bush back. It is coming back from the roots as well. So I lost all the top growth, quite a bit of top growth, but it's coming back. This is a Martinenca ramata that came. I thought it had died back to the ground, but it's coming back nicely. And then lastly, my white Texas everbearing. You can see it's coming back from the ground, but it's weird. It's coming back from the ground, but it's also coming back from up top here. I do not know why. Come on, focus. I do not know why it's taking so long to come back. But it did not like, and you can see over here the same thing. It did not like something this winter. And that's the first time I've ever had a problem with white Texas everbearing. So I'm not sure exactly what the deal with this one was, but it I don't know. Something caused it in the winter here to go into an extreme dormant situation. Maybe I had it too close to the garage. The tips definitely did die. And maybe I also left it out during that freeze. So those things combined seem to have really restricted it. Alright, one more to show you. Here's my driveway that I'm trying this year. I'm going to try to do this and see if it helps prevent some of the SWD. And some air layers on my Black Madeira. And these two guys, I had almost left for dead. And you can see the one white leaf here. This is my Bordesota Negro ramata. And it died way back, but it came back from the roots really well, and one little branch here. So that's good to see. And this guy over here is probably the most surprising one. I was almost certain it was dead. And I have a couple of tiny little shoots coming up from the roots for this Coleodon ramata. So my friend Amy was able to get me another one, but this one looks like it may survive too, and that's great. I love the Coleodons. I'm gonna probably grow this one out, and hopefully it's a little healthier. This one, the wood was always very knotted, and the nodes very closely spaced. It just was never super healthy. So hopefully starting over here, although these leaves look heavily infected with FMV, and that's fig mosaic virus, for those of you that may be new to the channel. It's a virus that affects most fig trees, but sometimes they're affected more, and it can stunt their growth, their leaf patterns, and just cause them to, grow sickly. So, that's about all that's going on. It's a beautiful, beautiful time period here in Pennsylvania, and everything is blooming, everything is doing just really well. And it's just a great time of the year. Probably only second to when the figs start to ripen. But it's that point in time where, everything is kind of living on its own. You're not having to water things constantly, and it's just, I don't know, it's turned into just a wonderful year. We do have one apricot on our apricot tree, a single one. So hopefully that holds on. Our peach tree, I'll show you that. Our peach tree is loaded. And that's one of my other favorite fruits is peaches, cherries, figs, pears. I like most fruits, but yeah, tree was absolutely loaded. I was gonna thin it, and then after being gone for a bit, I don't know if you can see this, but all through the ground it dropped quite a few peaches. So it auto thinned on its own. I could probably thin it more, but I found most years it does fine just on its own without having to do much to it. And it'll probably drop quite a few more of these, but it looks like it'll be a good crop this year. And then lastly, I have plums. And these trees were loaded until I came back and they dropped. The one tree dropped all of them, and this tree has 2 left. That one there, and oh, I might be down to 1. Nope, and there. So only 2 plums, but I'll be happy if I get any. The tree's young. It was just a very inexpensive tree from Home Depot or Lowe's. I had tried grafting a new variety onto it for better fruit set. Did not work too well. I'm not real good at grafting, but probably try it again one of these days. So that's about all I got, guys. I hope everybody is doing well, staying safe, and looking forward to everything starting to reopen. I'm PA Figs. Take care.